The small seaside town of Picton is named after a British military hero, Sir Thomas Picton. He was fatally wounded during the Battle of Waterloo. Picton is one of the many places in New Zealand whose names celebrate English military victories. The town of Blenheim, Picton's nearest neighbour, is named after the site of the Duke of Marlborough's 1704 victory over the French. Located at the head of Queen Charlotte Sound, Picton was originally settled by members of the Te Atiawa tribe and was known as Waitohi. However, the colonising New Zealand Company needed Picton as a port for Blenheim on the nearby Wairau Plains. In 1857, the company succeeded in acquiring Picton, and the local Maori community was resettled at Waikawa Bay. For many years, Picton served as the port for the surrounding district. But roll-on roll-off ferries did not arrive until 1962. The vehicle ferry service between Wellington and Picton revolutionised transport in New Zealand and remains a vital inter-island link. Today, Picton's streets swell and empty with the arrivals and departures of the ferries. Although few travellers stop here for long, Picton has a picturesque setting among steep bush-clad hills. Close to the ferry terminal is the Edwin Fox Maritime Museum. Beside the small building that houses the museum sits the hulk of the sailing ship Edwin Fox in a concrete trench beneath a canopy. Built in India in 1853 for the East India Company, the Edwin Fox began her working life taking troops to the Crimean War. 3 years later, she returned to civilian trade, including carrying 300 labourers, or coolies, from China to Cuba to work in the cane fields. In 1858, she transported convicts from England to Australia, then travelled between England and India. On the way to India, she carried beer, earning her the nickname the Booze Barge. During the 1870s, the Edwin Fox made 4 trips to New Zealand from England, loaded with immigrants. The passengers were crammed into the hold and frequently forced to remain there day and night during bad weather.
Our berths are arranged in 2 tiers, one above the other, and are supported by boards loosely nailed together without pretensions to style or fit. The boards are kept purposely apart about 1 inch, presumably for the purpose of ventilation.
The beds are both hard and uncomfortable, the sheets resembling sacking, while the blankets are of a colour not likely to show dirt.
Rats were frequent visitors.
122 days of misery, anxiety, discomfort, and semi-starvation. I hope never again to fall to the lot of an unfortunate emigrant in a slow but sure emigrant ship.
There were many complaints over the sleeping accommodation. Some of the quarters were almost in darkness, and some berths wet from water running down the side of the ship. The passengers also complained of the scantiness and quality of food.
The introduction of steam in the 1880s saw the Edwin Fox become redundant, so she was used as a floating meat freezer. She finally ended up in Picton in 1897 as a coal storage bin, a sad end for a vessel that circumnavigated the globe 34 times. Edwin Fox lay abandoned and rotting. A request by the Air Force to use her for target practice finally sparked interest in preserving her. She was towed to the Picton foreshore, where she stands today. Rather than be restored, the Edwin Fox remains in her original state, the last surviving ship of the East India Company and the last example of a convict vessel.